It all started in New Orleans. Dark magic in the air. Something about that creepy pink monkey. I was walking down the street and I saw an open door. A lady waved me inside. Said she had to tell me something. There was darkness I had to fix. I was King Stephen of Budapest in another life. I had to go there and fix the break in the lifeline. Something about a flower, blood, and the holy right hand of King Stephen. She could read it all on my palm. I knew what I had to do. So I left the next day, built a giant Zorb I could drive my car across the ocean in. Put a zipper on the side. Worked pretty well. Intercoastal Zorbing was born. After several days, I arrived in Budapest. Beautiful city, so much history. I wandered the city. I went to a little coffee place and got a cup. I thought I saw a bowl full of cinnamon and sugar. Took a spoonful and put it in my cup. Turned out to be sand, though. I guess they heat the coffee in it. Crunchy. So many pieces of history. But I had to stay focused. I had to find St. Stephen's Basilica. He was a king and a saint. I guess when you're king, you can force people to saint you. But from what I've heard, he wasn't a great guy. His chapel was amazing, though. Just beautiful. I walked in, looked for any clues that would help me. Didn't see much, though. I thought I would offer up a prayer and light some candles. Pray for enlightenment. So, after I lit the candles, I heard a voice. There was a little stoned knight sitting on a shelf. He spoke to me. Apparently King Stephen, after losing his hand, was angry and decided to take his vengeance out on the people. If he had to go through life with no hand, so would those around him. He'd take their feet too. He ordered his men to round the people up. Every 10th person was taken to the Danube River, and their feet were removed. Their shoes are still there, in memorial. Their feet and hands were chucked into the river. It was a bloody, bloody day. I walked along. I saw a beautiful flower in one of the shoes. Instinctively, I grabbed it. I don't know why, it just called to me. Stuffed it in my bag. Spent the rest of the day perusing the beautiful architecture of Budapest. Secret garden, hidden behind the synagogue. So much beautiful architecture, so much sculptures, so much history. At one point, I heard a sound. I felt like I was being followed. But I snuck around the building and was able to evade my pursuers. I wonder what they're after. I wonder if it's that rose. I found a place to camp in the woods. Slipped on my backpack. Last night, I got woken up and my bag was moving. I thought someone was taking it. I grabbed it and I was pulling on it and we were tug of warring. And it was a fox. Eventually went away, but was not scared of me. Dark forces were after this flower. They went to the trouble to brainwash a fox. These people were nothing to mess around with. I had to be smarter. Had to plot my next move. As one does in these type of situations, I decided to start randomly driving about the country in search of clues. On each life a little rain must fall. Whatever that is. Sleeping in that kind of car. In Hungary. Sitting in front of Louis II, another king of Hungary, I followed his gaze down to a sketching of a tractor on the sidewalk. I knew it had meaning, and as I drove through the countryside, I saw an identical tractor pulled over and stopped. Apparently, I had stumbled into the Hungarian festival of the warrior children, a place where they train their children in the arts of war, on land and sea, and also eat a lot of delicious food. So, I began my training for my great quest, because I too was a warrior and a child. So, I saw the obstacle courses. Large boards where they threw ropes and sticks through other boards. Jumping things which I couldn't do. Shooting bows and arrows. And knife throwing. Land and sea animals. So I could overcome any obstacle. The confidence was incredible. Also strength and conditioning. It was then that I realized that like the warriors of old, I must travel to Delphi and seek guidance of the gods. So, I went to Greece. Now, all I had to do was find the oracle and receive guidance for the next step. I think these are olive trees. Gazing out over Mount Olympus in Athens, I felt my strength growing. But then, I was accosted by a group of men. They tried to grab my flower. I chased them, but through all the little winding pathways, winding their way down the mountain, they were able to escape from me. Fortunately, I retained the flower. My warrior training had paid off. I drove them away, as Achilles drove his enemies before him. Went to the beach where a very honest man told me I was fat and needed more sun, so I left quickly. Then I had to catch a pigeon, an offering for the oracle at Delphi. So I snatched him up, lured him in with some stale bread, and hiked up the mountain to seek my fate. There it was. I spoke to the oracle, but she said, I need to go to the restroom. That's literally what she said. I thought that was not very helpful, but then I realized she was telling me I need to go to the restroom. I need to find a bathroom. That's the next clue. But I couldn't. For days, for weeks, I searched. But there wasn't a bathroom to be found. It was ridiculous. I had to pee so bad. I tried at the mosque. They wouldn't let me in. I wasn't wearing the proper attire. I asked some sheep. They weren't very helpful. Found an ancient bridge. Trying to hide behind the pillars, but there were cars everywhere. Just ridiculous. Then, as I was walking through this beautiful city, I saw a stairway down into a bathroom. What a relief. So I went down, and the most surprising thing happened. As I crawled beneath the earth, I pushed on the side of the door, and suddenly the bathroom transformed into an ancient crypt to Lenin. All these Soviet statues, most importantly, Lenin's head. Apparently, Lenin, like Hitler, was a great collector of holy relics. And here was the map to where he'd hidden his most prized possession, the holy hand of King Stephen. It was at his wife's grave, his Serbian wife's grave in Novi Sad. All I had to do was go and get it. Just follow the map to the holy hand. Hitting the button on the old music device, I was magically transported back. I knew what I had to do. Next stop, Serbia. Maybe there was time for a little stop in Kosovo, though. So these old cherry plums grow in Europe. You know. They're actually delicious. I looked it up. Supposedly they're safe to eat, so we'll find out. Pretty good. Beneath the Petrovaradin fortress in Novi Sad, there was a network of hidden catacombs. I followed the map to the correct entrance and began my quest. Somewhere in Serbia, in a dark tunnel, and I'll never find my way out. There's 100 different paths at 100 different turns. Bats. Whew, so scary.
분신사바, 오이때 쿠다사.
Suddenly, the catacombs opened up into a beautiful living area. This must be the tomb of Lenin's loved, beloved wife. And then, on a shelf, I saw it. Victory. I'd found it. The holy hand of King Stephen. Wait, what was that strange sound? This was the wrong Lenin. That was Yoko Ono. When you're that gorgeous, 89 is just a number. We were married instantly and lived.
Well, I'm surprised too, It was very sweet of him to do. And he's a very sensitive and intelligent guy. Coach John is very special.